love reading predictions, especially when a new year begins. Whether you believe it or not, it's a little interesting to hear what predictions say about how our health, finances, and romantic lives are going to be, right? So, let's find out. What are the 9 predictions from Nostradamus that have shocking accuracy? Hi, welcome to Eventful Insights. Today we'll be talking about the unbelievably shocking predictions made by Nostradamus, the 16th century astrologer and physician. These prophecies he made earned him fame during and even after his lifetime. Along with that, we'll also discuss the predictions for 2024, so make sure to stay tuned if you want to know how the year is predicted to go. Before we get started, why don't you comment down below? Did you read any predictions before that eventually came true? First, let's begin by getting to know the 9 predictions that Nostradamus made, which were remarkably accurate. Number 1 on the list, JFK's assassination. Nostradamus said his prediction through these lines: "The ancient task will be completed. From on high, evil will fall on the great man. A dead innocent will be accused of the deed, the guilty one will remain in the mist." The killing of John F. Kennedy in 1963 clearly had powerful forces behind it. The bullet that ended his life came from on high, entering his head at rooftop level. The person accused of the crime, Lee Harvey Oswald, didn't survive long enough to be tried in court. While in police custody, he was shot and killed by a Dallas nightclub owner. Oswald consistently maintained that he was set up as a scapegoat and, as a result, claimed innocence. Even today, the true culprit behind JFK's assassination remains uncertain. A recent Gallup poll shows that 61% of Americans believe it was part of a conspiracy. Next, Hitler's extreme terror in Europe. Nostradamus's prediction came in these words: "From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people, he who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the east." He added, "Beasts ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister. Into a cage of iron will the great one be drawn, when the child of Germany observes nothing." Born to humble parents in 1889 in Western Europe, Hitler used his powerful speaking abilities to rally the Nazi Party in Germany after World War I. Germany, part of the Axis powers, formed an alliance with Japan in the east. Some people think Hister is a typo, but it's also an ancient name for the Danube River. What do you think? Hitler's birthplace was near the Danube in what was once Austria-Hungary, referred to as the Danube Monarchy. It's worth noting that Nostradamus, the famous seer, often included anagrams like Hister in his writings. At number 3, we have King Henry II's death. In his prediction, Nostradamus said, "The young lion will overcome the older one on the field of combat in a single battle. He will pierce his eyes through a golden cage, 2 wounds made one, then he dies a cruel death." In the summer of 1559, King Henry II of France faced off in a joust against Gabriel, Count of Montgomery, a nobleman 6 years younger than him. During their last pass, Montgomery's lance broke into 2 pieces. One shard pierced through the king's visor, hitting his eye, while the other got stuck in his temple. Henry endured 10 days of suffering before passing away in his bed. Some accounts mention that their shields may have featured lion emblems, but there's disagreement on this detail. Skeptics argue that the term field of battle in the quatrain might not accurately describe the friendly joust that ultimately led to Henry II's death. Then we have at number 4, the Great Fire of London. In this shocking prediction, Nostradamus said, "The blood of the just will be lacking in London, burnt up in the fire of 66. The ancient lady will topple from her high place. Many of the same sect will be killed." On September 2, 1666, a minor fire broke out in Thomas Farriner's bakery on Pudding Lane in London and escalated into a massive 3-day blaze that engulfed the entire city, famously known as the Great Fire of London. Although there is no record of peasant deaths at that time, many historians estimate that at least 8 people lost their lives in the fire. Numerous homes and businesses were destroyed in the process. The phrase "blood of the just" could possibly relate to the eradication of millions of rats carrying fleas that spread the Black Death. the deadly plague came to an end during the Great Fire. Then at number 5, we have French Emperor Napoleon's conquest. In Nostradamus' words, he predicted, "Pow, nay, Laurent, more fire than blood, swimming in praise, the great man hurries to the confluence. He will refuse entry to the magpies, Pampon and Durance will confine them." Pau, Ney, and Laurent are names of 3 towns mentioned by Nostradamus, although the last one is actually named Oloron. Nostradamus often used anagrams, and by rearranging the letters of these towns, we get Napoleon Roy, which closely resembles Napoleon the King in French. The phrase, "more of fire than of the blood," might allude to Napoleon's non-noble background, as he rose to power through a coup. "Refuse entry to the magpies" could be a reference to Napoleon imprisoning Popes Pius VI and VII. Did you get goosebumps hearing how close those predictions were to real-life events? What are your thoughts so far? Tell us in the comments below. Now let's continue. For number 6, we have the atomic bombings. He predicted the bombings with these words, "The heavenly dart with stretch its course, death in the speaking, a great achievement. The proud nation brought low by the stone in the tree. Rumors of a monstrous human, bring purge, then expiation." In August 1945, the United States used 2 atomic bombs on Japan, hitting Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A lot of historians believe this event marked the conclusion of World War II. Those who managed to survive the initial explosion endured the effects of radiation, and many lost their lives. In Nostradamus' quatrain, the phrase "stone in the tree" might symbolize the shape of the mushroom cloud that covered the sky above the city. It could also signify an object on land, like a bomb, oddly appearing where it shouldn't, like a tree or the sky. Do you know the story of the atomic bombings? Next, the 7th prediction on our list is about French chemist and pharmacist Louis Pasteur's discoveries. In his prediction, Nostradamus said, "The lost thing is discovered, hidden for many centuries. Pasteur will be celebrated almost as a godlike figure. This is when the moon completes her great cycle, but by other rumors he shall be dishonored." Louis Pasteur, born in 1822, was a French scientist known for discovering that microorganisms cause fermentation. This finding debunked the earlier belief that bacteria spontaneously appears. Instead, he showed that it grows from existing living organisms in a process called biogenesis. Pasteur, while not the first to propose germ theory, convinced Europe of its validity and developed pasteurization to eliminate bacteria. His early work laid the groundwork for rabies and anthrax vaccines. In 1995, it was revealed he incorporated a competitor's findings into his anthrax vaccine, tarnishing his reputation as Nostradamus had predicted. We're now down to our last 2 predictions on the list. Are you prepared to listen to the even more shocking prophecies of Nostradamus? At number 8, we have Charles de Gaulle's leadership. Who is Charles de Gaulle? Charles de Gaulle, who served as a leader 3 times, initially led the Free French forces. This group represented the French government in exile and operated from London during World War II. Nostradamus' predictions came in these words: "Hercules become king of Rome and of Anmark. A man named de Gaulle is a 3-time leader. Italy and the waters of Venice will tremble. He will be renowned above all monarchs." Charles indeed became a 3-time leader. Afterward, he assumed the role of prime minister for the temporary government following World War II. Eventually, in 1959, he took on the inaugural presidency of the French Fifth Republic. And lastly, the 9th shockingly accurate prediction from Nostradamus is the 9/11 attacks. The sky will burn at 45 degrees. Fire approaches the great new city. By fire he will destroy their city, a cold and cruel heart, blood will pour, mercy to none. These were the words of Nostradamus' prediction. In the morning of September 11, 2001, planes that had been hijacked crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. Researchers interpret the mention of 45 degrees in 2 ways. It could refer to New York City's location near the 45th latitude, or it might suggest that the burning buildings would collapse, creating a 45-degree angle to the ground, even though, in reality, they fell inward upon themselves. It's important to note that Nostradamus lived in a time before all his predictions, which gained him popularity up to this day. Many people still analyze whether his predictions relate to anything that has happened in this present time. And speaking of present, here are Nostradamus's predictions for the year 2024. Sky History notes Nostradamus discussing a potential new pope in 2024, possibly due to Pope Francis's age and health concerns. Nostradamus warns that this successor may weaken his see and have a lengthy tenure, with the exact meaning of weaken open to interpretation. Also, Nostradamus predicts royal uncertainty, with interpretations suggesting Queen Elizabeth II's demise in 2022. Mario Reading sees the King of the Isles facing controversy and replacement by someone lacking kingly traits. Reading suggests King Charles III's abdication, with Prince Harry potentially succeeding Prince William. However, recent events cast doubt on this outcome. Additionally, Nostradamus forecasts current climate crises, referencing storms, wildfires, and extreme temperatures. Sky History suggests his quatrains warn of a devastating famine, caused by tsunamis, leading to disease and starvation. Lastly, Nostradamus foresees potential global conflicts amid China's rise, sparking speculation about a new Cold War with the United States. Quatrains mentioned combat and naval battle and a red adversary, possibly referring to communist China. Given China's naval strength, the prospect of diplomatic incidents or more serious conflicts is raised. And that's it. Those were the 9 shockingly accurate predictions from Nostradamus, along with his 2024 predictions. Are you feeling convinced after watching this video? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked watching this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell to get notified on our next videos. Thanks for watching.